Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. I am your boy, BigAL Bets, joined as always by my co-host.
MattyBets, baby. Let's go. What's going on? What's cracking?
We're just jumping in here into Dallas, Pittsburgh. Sunday night football should be pretty. I'm looking forward to a pretty good game. I think it's going to be may not be as high scoring as we think, but I think it's going to be two teams that we kind of. Pittsburgh has a good defense. They just coming off their first loss against Dallas, who's kind of struggled to start the year, but they're coming off a win against the Giants. So, uh, what are you thinking we're going to kind of see in this one, Matt?
Well, like you said, Steelers good defense. Cowboys defense isn't as good as we thought it would be this year. Last couple of years, defense has kind of been locked down, and then the offense also has been super explosive. And we haven't really seen that much or that aspect of the Cowboys. We got a glimpse of it when they played against the Ravens when they tried to come back and catch up, but other than that, we haven't really seen this offense be great like it was last year and the year before, where, like back when they had Kellen Moore as the OC, they're just throwing the ball all the way down the field. And it was insane. It was awesome to watch. High scoring games every matchup. They were one of like the better offenses in the league. Same with last year, too. This year, not as much. Took a step back. I don't really know what it is. If it's just Dak losing his touch or if it's the offense just can't blend together. I don't know. Also, the defense, like I said, it kind of plays into itself because if the defense isn't giving you good field position, obviously you have to go all the way down the field as opposed to just getting great field position, only having to go half the field. So, like you said, I do agree with the whole. I think we'll see a lower scoring game than we're used to. Uh, that's why I do like the under in this game. And I'm going to
Okay.
guess that you're probably there too, just because the Steelers, you had your big spiel last week about the Steelers and the unders. Uh, but I mean, spread set at 2.5, and I do like the Cowboys here at plus 2.5 on the road to steal a win in Pittsburgh.
Okay, I've got +3 on DraftKings. So whichever book you
Okay.
guys, as we've said before, play multiple books if you're in a place that you can. Um, DraftKings has it at +3. FanDuel has it at +2.5. Shop around, find the best number depending on which side you're on. So, and for this situation, you'd get the +3, Matt. So you'd get a
Yep.
full field goal. I'm on the opposite side. I'm taking Pittsburgh off a loss, -3. Um, I think it just works out. Pittsburgh's at home. Dallas, I don't trust Dallas. I never really liked Dallas, to be completely fair.
You never
But the
do.
Steelers have looked way better than I even thought they would this year. We didn't have them going 3-0 to start the year, so the fact they did that, um, I didn't think they'd lose to the Colts last week either. So maybe I'm wrong, but I like the -3 or -2.5, and I like the under also.
Okay. So you're also on the under there. Yeah, I mean, like we said, it's this game is tough to pick. Like this would not be a game that I would have brought if it was, a 10 o'clock game or 125 game or something like that. Like I wouldn't have brought it to the table uh, for like a best bet or anything like that, just because I don't feel good about it. But obviously, in this, we have to give our leans and stuff like that because it's prime time. Uh, but I will say, I think it's gonna be a boring game for a primetime game. I don't know
Okay.
why they have this as the primetime game when there's so many better matchups this week.
Well, I think it's because the Ravens just had a primetime game, so you're not going to put Ravens Bengals back. You're not going to put the Ravens on primetime back to back, and the Bills just played in primetime, so you're not going to put Bills Texans in a primetime. And
Yeah,
those are
that's
two of kind
fair.
of the marquee games of the week. So
I mean, they have one that I was thinking would have been a lot better, and that was Cardinals and Niners. That'd be a pretty good game. I thought Browns Commanders, but I don't know. I feel like the Commanders will kind of walk away with that one and
sure,
just kind of get Jaden Daniels in primetime lights. But I mean, he's already been in primetime this year, so I guess it's fine. But
they like
yeah,
they like putting Dallas in primetime. That's why it's happening.
yeah, that's fair. Just make it America's game of the
Yeah.
week. Nobody ever complains about them being America's game of the week, right? Um,
No, never,
yeah,
never. They're America's team.
they're America's team. Everybody loves them. Okay.
Hmm.
So that being said, that's how we see the game going. We both think it'll be a little bit lower of a scoring game than perhaps last week's was with Ravens and uh, Bills. But
Hmm.
let's go head-to-head matchups here. Who are you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
taking for your head-to-head?
So I tossed this one around a little bit. I'm just gonna trust Pittsburgh, so I'm taking Pittsburgh minus the 3 points. And
That's
I'm actually
perfect.
we take best numbers, so I'm taking -2.5.
Yeah, and I love that because I got Cowboys at +3. I like the
Perfect,
Cowboys to
dude.
win this game. So
We've been pretty close in the head-to-heads this season.
We
It's
have
been a
been.
kind of a back and forth. It's been a back and forth, going back, going forth. It's been fun. It's been
Mhm.
fun.
Back and forth. We've had a couple that we've taken the same on, and then
Yep.
also we've had sometimes where you take the opposites of each other and none of it hits too. So
Mm,
it's happened a couple times, but it is what it is. It happens. Next on the slate for us is our 4-pick parlays. You want to tell
absolutely. And
the folks at
yeah,
home?
if you
Yeah.
guys if you guys are new to the channel, the way we do it for all the primetime games, we give you our lean on the spread and the over under. We do our head-to-head picks, and then we go in and we pick 4 prop bets from the game. We give those out to you guys. It's normally anywhere from plus 500 to plus 2,000. We try to keep it in that range. We're not trying to get crazy, but it's a nice, fun thing to do. We like doing them. We've hit 6 now on the season.
I believe so.
Matt's hit 2. I've hit 4. Not to sway your guys' opinions. We've been, a little on and off, but I've averaged almost 1 a week because we're in week 5 now. But I guess I'll just jump into mine, Matt, to start. That's
Yeah.
cool with you.
Yeah, works for me.
Okay. So I've got George Pickens over 4.5 receptions. That is his line. It is plus money when I looked earlier. Then I have George Pickens over 53.5 receiving yards, which is also his line. He's gone over that. Just for reference, he's gone over 4.5 receptions in every game except for one, which was week 2, and he's gone over the 53.5 reception yards in every game except for week 2. Then I have Najee Harris to rushing and receiving 100 plus because Dallas is missing Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. And they haven't been good against the run this year. And then my final one is CD Lamb for 80 plus receiving yards. He's had 2 games this year where he's gone over 90, and 2 when he's gotten over 60. So I think he's just going to have a big game. Dak likes him now. He's back in the rhythm. It's week 5. I think CD Lamb's going to have a game. So that's my 4 picks. That pays out plus 1,100.
Plus 1,100, nice. I was gonna say the whole George Pickens take. I do like. I feel like 4.5 receptions was kind of low.
Okay.
So I love that pick a lot. And then you had him for how many yards?
53.5.
Okay, yeah, I like that line too. I think he'll go over that. I mean, he's the clear number one over there. And from last week we saw George Pickens have a great game. So I like George Pickens kind of pick it up. We saw Justin Fields. He kind of threw the ball a little bit more than they have recently. So yeah, I like the game script there for George Pickens to be able to get a lot of yards and a lot of targets there in that game.
Absolutely.
I'll jump into mine. We do have one pick on here. We're gonna preface this. We have one pick on here that neither of us have taken this year. I don't think for our 4-pick parlays. It is still a prop,
Okay.
but it's kind of like one of those more fun, more niche props, I guess. First, we're gonna go Cowboys over 20.5 total points.
Wow.
So we got the over/under set at 43.5. I see 21-20 maybe, a 21-20 victory over the Steelers. I like that a lot. Still gives us the under, and Cowboys get over 20.5. Next, we have George Pickens to record a 20-yard reception. Seems like free money there. It's plus one or minus 190. And then Pat Freiermuth at 4 receptions. He's the main tight end over there for the Steelers. And then last, we got the other tight end on the other side of the field for the Cowboys, Jake Ferguson, 40-plus receiving yards. And mine's a little bit lower. It's plus 600. We're going safe. We're just going easy. I think there's 2 people in this game that get 20-yard receptions, and I think it is George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
And I like the Cowboys over 20.5 points. I
That
don't
would make
think
sense.
it'll be 40. What?
How many catches did you say for Freiermuth?
4.
4 catches
Yeah, 4 catches.
over 3.5.
It's just 4 plus. I took an alt line. Alt line at 4
okay.
plus. Yeah. Which I thought about going
And
for
you said
5, but
sure. It plays out plus what? 6 something?
615. Yeah.
6.
It's not the biggest one that I've made. It's one of the smaller ones for sure. But we're just gonna go 6 times our money and go home. So, and I think George Pickens 20-yard reception, kind of like you were saying, 4 catches, 60 yards, like or 53.5, whatever it was. Like I like George Pickens to get a 20-yard catch.
That feels right. I think he can. I mean, he can do that. Just
Yeah,
catches one
exactly.
over the middle of the field, turns it up, runs for 5 or 10.
Yep, there you go. There's your 20 yards. Check it off the list.
So there you have it, people. We've got those are our 4-pick parlays. Now we jump into the last phase of the video where we give you guys our touchdown scores we like for this game. So Matt, go ahead and jump in there. Matt normally gives I try to keep it to 3. Matt gives out 4 or 5. Usually his fifth one's this big lean that plays plus 5 or 600 to get a touchdown. So it'll probably be Pittsburgh defense this week. But Matt, what do you got?
Oh, see, Pittsburgh defense would probably be really good too, because it's most likely a plus 500. That's normally what the defensive touchdowns are at, and that
Sure.
does include special teams, by the way, too. If you guys didn't know that.
Right.
First of all, we're going with Najee. He's the favorite in the game, minus 105. Najee Harris. I love taking the star running backs for the teams. It's one of the easiest bets to hit, and nine times out of 10 probably it hits. So, and like you said, no Michael Parsons, no Lawrence. I like that front to be a little bit weaker. Get Najee. You have him for 100 yards in yours. So, and then we got CD
Yep.
Lamb. He's at plus 110. Love getting plus money on a star wide receiver. And then we got George Pickens on the other side, the star receiver over there, plus 165. And then we're going Zeke Elliott. I didn't want to take who's the other guy that they got over there?
Dowdle.
Dowdle. Yeah, Dowdle's actually plus 120 or something like that. And I like Zeke over that. Zeke's kind of just like the bell cow if they get close to the end zone. So I like Zeke there, plus 280. The reach pick of this week is Cavante Turpin. And
Okay.
he's at plus 480. And he has had 1 touchdown this year already. Last week, I'm not sure if he played or not. I was looking at his stats, and he didn't have any catches or any yards. So, and no targets either. So, kind of shocks me. 2 weeks ago is when he scored his touchdown, though. 4 targets, 3 catches, 50 yards. So, I like Turpin. It seems like they use him. I feel like he's been on their team forever.
Right.
But, yeah, he's kind of like their 3rd or 4th string receiver. But they do like throwing him out there. So, I like Turpin there for a reach pick on a touchdown at plus 480. I like that a lot.
Okay. So, like I said, 5 picks for Matt there.
Yep.
For my 3, I have 2 of the same ones you have. I have Najee Harris at minus 110. I love that
Perfect.
pick. I have Justin Fields for plus 135. He's run one in the last 2 weeks. He didn't have any the first 2, but the last 2 he's run one in each week. And
Okay.
then CD Lamb I have for plus 100, which is
Nice.
DraftKings numbers versus FanDuel's numbers. I will say for Naj, one of the
Yeah.
reasons I took him for 100 plus, he's been he in the 4 weeks, he was at 69 the first week rushing and receiving, and then he's been over 75 the other 3 weeks.
Okay.
His best week was 85, so he hasn't touched 100 yet. But Jalen Warren is doubtful, and so is Cordero Patterson. So it should just be the
Okay.
Naj show. And the Steelers like to run the ball and drain clock and let their defense feast. So that goes into like the Naj over and then the Naj touchdown. And then Pickens, I don't know if you know this, Matt, he has no touchdowns in the whole season.
Really? So that's why he's at plus 165.
Right. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year.
Okay. Well, I like him to get a touchdown here then. He'll help them. He'll score. We'll have Najee score. And then, yeah, the Cowboys need, 3 touchdowns to get up to 21. So they got CD Lamb, Zeke Elliott, and Cavante Turpin. They're real. Let's hit all 5. And we still hit the under. We still hit the Cowboys at 21 points. Easy.
I'm kind of shocked you didn't throw Ferguson in there. You took him in your parlay for 40 yards. You don't think
Yeah,
he gets
I
in the end zone?
know. I don't know. It's you. I can't come to this thing with 8 touchdown scores. Whether I put in 8 touchdown scores on my bet slip and do an 8 touchdown parlay for the
Sure.
game, that's a whole different, ball game right there. But when I come to this, I like just taking the guys that I feel like are going to score and how the game's going to go. I could see Ferguson getting a touchdown, but if it's a lower scoring game, I like Zeke and I like CD Lamb more than I like Ferguson. Zeke
Okay.
makes more sense just because he's going to be the lead back if they're at the goal line, and then CD Lamb just because he's the best receiver on the team. So, and then obviously the reach pick is always, it's not guaranteed by any means. It's always a
Right.
reach. It's always like, there's always, it seems like in every primetime game, there's always one guy that scores a touchdown. You're like, who? So give me Turpin for that. And that's kind of what I like to do with the reach picks. You kind of just envision the last game that you saw, and you're like, okay, who scored a touchdown that I didn't think would? And it's some guy that you've probably never heard of. So when you're looking at the betting, do a little bit of research if you are going to do that and try to copy my strategy a little bit. Make sure you go and look and make sure that they've actually played this year. Because I've made that mistake before where I'm like, hey, I've never heard this guy's name. Let me take him. And then I go and look at his stats, and he hasn't had a single target all year. So just because he's on the team doesn't mean he's going to play. But usually if he's on the bet slip at plus 900 or 1,000, there's a reason that he's 9 or 10 extra bet. So just keep that
Right.
in mind if you're taking touchdown scorers.
Okay, so just to quickly recap this whole situation, Matt's on Dallas on the spread and the under. I'm on Pittsburgh and on the spread and the under. Head to head, Dallas, Pittsburgh. Matt's 4-pick parlay pays plus 615. I keep saying plays instead of pays. It's the parlay being thrown in there.
Yep.
Matt's parlay pays plus 615. It's Dallas over 20.5 points. George Pickens for a 20-yard reception. Pat Fryermuth four plus catches, and Jake Ferguson for 40 plus reception yards. My parlay is plus 1100. It's George Pickens over 4.5 catches. George Pickens over 53.5 reception yards. Najee Harris 100 plus receiving and rushing. CeeDee Lamb 80 plus reception yards. And then for touchdown scorers, Matt likes Najee and Lamb. So do I. Matt likes Pickens, Zeke Elliott, Robert Turpin. That's his name, right, Robert?
Cavante.
Cavante, close enough.
Cavante.
And
Yeah,
then
close enough.
and then I like Najee, Lamb, and then Justin Fields to rush one in. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. Channel's kind of starting to blow up. We like that. We're gonna keep pumping out videos. We got content for you guys all football season long. And let's hope to have a good game. Matt, you got anything else you want to say before we say goodbye to the fine people?
No, just really double down on the whole, thank you, because, we got influx, like 30% growth pretty much for the subscribers on the channel just this week alone. So keep up, putting in your guys' effort and, finding us and also subscribing, commenting, liking, all that stuff. It all plays into the algorithm of YouTube and also us too. You already know us. We're going to be here week in, week out. We're going to be pumping out the videos. We're not going to stop anytime soon. It's week 5 and we got all the way up to week 18 plus playoffs and all that too. So thank you again for everybody, for just being here and supporting the channel. It means a lot. And, let us know how we're doing in the comments. But other than that,
Hey, keep playing these parlays, man. We're making some money out here for some people.
Yeah, exactly. 6 or 7 times your bet on a parlay, if you're hitting that or plus 900, you're good for 9 more. So, and we've hit what, 6 of them. So
yep, 6 of them.
All I know is it pays to play. So, just keep on.
It pays to parlay.
It pays to parlay. There we go. Let's put that on a shirt. Coming to a YouTube site near you very soon. But we will catch you guys all in the next video. Thanks again.